Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for a leg day. I'm continuing with what I did last week. I went ahead and worked on kind of just optimizing my squat today. I realized my low back was really fatigued. It actually was a little crampy. Everything was hurting a little bit there. Also, again, just the stuff with shoulders this week, we're feeling a little off, so I'm adjusting the pressing. So I'm like, I don't want to push this hard. I'm like, let's train the machines really hard. I don't want to risk anything with the low back. Plus, I've been adding in all that weight vest cardio. So the last few days, there's a little bit of fatigue in the low back. I'm like, I still squatted pretty dang heavy last week in spite of the other stuff. Let's just get a little bit of form practice in. Get used to the sleeves again, get used to the shoes, and just kind of find my optimal spots, right? Get that stance down, get everything where I want it, and just a nice heavy single, 415, nothing crazy, right? And you guys see it, you'd be like, Coach, you really, oh my God, that's like nothing. It's like, I know, and that's okay, right? So I just want to get used to everything again. And then we just hypertrophied the heck out of the legs, right? Hypertrophied the legs. But what I also want to do as I'm working on the shoulder situation, I definitely want to continue to, as you guys know what I'm doing with that, I've kind of made some videos discussing it. As I get that shoulder mobility and range of motion back where I want it with some changes in the training, I want that to carry over then to the squat comfort, right? Now I had a really good position there for that one, and then I went a little heavier. I felt like maybe probably could have got the bar a little better. But again, went up to 415. Like I said, man, nothing crazy today. I mean, I hit a 500 with that other bar, but this is a stiff bar. It's a little different for my shoulders right now. So I hit that 500 a little while back, on a full, like a low bar position, but I felt like I could have got a little deeper. I felt like I could have got a little deeper. So I want to work with using the shoes while I'm using the sleeves, get these leverages down, keep building the quads, and I think once next week gets here, I think we're going to start pushing this up. Right? Again, I just wanted a nice, good quality squat, right? And it felt kind of heavy. That was the thing I noticed too. Even the lighter weight, I felt that in the back a little bit. So that was also what held me back. Big deal there, right? I want to make sure that low back feels good. Also, that eccentric, you guys notice it feels a little funny with the squat shoes. Feels a little funny, but I feel like I'll get a decent amount of carryover out of all of it. And again, the same thing. I want to start getting deeper, but like that last single before that one, I was happy with how that looked. So we need more of that, and let's just build it up. And I want to start doing more squat volume. That's going to be on the agenda. So what I did on that theme too, I left the shoes on. I'm like, I'm going to have to take a little bit of weight off. Right, from what I've done at my absolute best. So I think the best 10 rep set I've done on here before, which was an extra 45 on there. Right, so but again, that's not even counting the weight of those arms. So this is just 220 versus, whatever, 265. It matters in this context for the depth. So it's like, man, they lit my quads up. So leaving the squat shoes on, and I adjusted my stance to get deeper. I'm like, let's not even try to do toes forward. Let's take a real similar to position to what I'm doing on that squat there. A hair narrower, but the idea is the same. I'm like, let's get into a position to where I can get ass to grass. Let's get deep. Let's build those quads and glutes up, right? So that'll carry over to that deep squatting. Okay, and have fun with it. And again, it doesn't matter that I had a barely parallel 500 a little while back. I want this stuff to be some solid lifting again as I build up into the 500s because the strength's already there, but I've got to be feeling better day to day. That fatigue has to be. But I definitely need that fatigue resolved. So again, just got to watch that when I added the cardio back in. Plus I had that really bad week last week. I still hit decent numbers though. Like I can't be upset with a 465 for a double on the high bar. I can't really be upset with that. But again, I had a lot going on that day. I had a plumbing situation, waiting on a plumber, dealing with them an hour on hold the night before they really getting my plumber out. It was just a problem, It was a problem. So that had me all stressed, messed with my workout that morning, waiting on the plumber, not knowing who's going to be there, all that other stuff, right? So we still had a decent one. But yeah, I definitely noticed the fatigue today. So I'm like, look, let's just come in, get a little bit of form, and then let's build some muscle. So I want to take this stuff, the accessory work, up to where we build muscle from it, right? So getting those deep, deep squats. And the same thing here. I went with the leg extensions here, and I took them right about 20. They failed. So I'm getting a little more reps with this. So I'm trying to lay back, and I did 4 sets of this. So, I mean, if we don't count any of the squatting, because I don't think it was heavy enough to truly count as a true work set for hypertrophy. It just wasn't. You know, I wanted to get about 7 quality sets here. So these are right at the limits. These are limit sets for me, right about 20. Those 10s were hard also. Those, I felt like I didn't really have another rep, maybe. But especially with that depth, but they hurt. Like my quads felt like they were being ripped apart, which is good. We're getting that lengthened, and then this here is going to be a little more contracted because of the machine. So we worked a couple different angles. Happy with it. So again, let's get some quad growth on the stuff that's not going to beat me up, not going to have any stress on the low back. We'll work on it this coming week. Notice I kind of had to back off a little just due to all that. This last week I didn't do the good mornings, you know. Didn't do the good mornings, but man, I feel like I need to be working the good mornings in. So I mean, if we're going to be honest, I do feel like the good mornings will help. So I need to push those back up. But keep in mind, the week before I also hit. So there's another reason I have all that back fatigue. I had a 555 for a triple deadlift, and then I got 405 on the good morning for a triple, which I've been working back up. So it's kind of reached a point to where I think with a lot of it, I think my back is just kind of like, okay, we're hitting a lot of work here. And then we started adding that weight vest cardio, and that adds up. So it's like my body's kind of like, let's just go a hair easier. Let's adapt to all this again. Let's get everything adapted. Do enough squatting just to maintain a movement pattern. Get used to those shoes again. Build the muscle, and then let's start building it back up. So, I mean, last time we ramped up, we hit a 500 on that Buffalo bar. We built it to a 500. Now let's work on just using that power bar to put all the other stuff on, and let's take it. This time we're going to ramp it up a little bit over a few weeks, and let's get up into the 500s. And that'll be the game plan, right? That'll be the game plan. So I feel like even at this point, my diet might need some adjustments just for the recovery. And I probably need to drop all the really high fat, replace it with carbs, and do a little more balanced diet for a while. I feel like I'm not going to get super boofy doing it as long as I keep the cardio, the fasted cardio in. I feel like that's going to be the key to that, right? And I'll probably end up eating less total calories this way, while still keeping them pretty good. But again, I just feel like at this point, the training would probably benefit from that, especially with the cardio added in. But we did 4 sets of these, and then I finished up with a set of hanging leg raises. So overall, happy with all the accessory work, even if the squats I got in, I said, this is going to be one of those days where I just need to go through the motions and not push these squats hard. Listen to your body. So I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.